Hi, I'm Rachel Newrick. Welcome back to Advanced Seismic Interpretation. Yes, I'm excited. Over the past few sessions, we have looked at some seismic interpretation theory and practices. We've worked through reconnaissance workflows. We have studied synthetic seismograms. We've been critical of them. We've made suggestions and we've brainstormed. And you've worked really well together. We've also considered in each of these sessions FLTs, or funny looking things. And now we get to look at DHIs. DHIs are just FLTs that we believe indicate hydrocarbon in the subsurface. So now let's go looking in the subsurface. We could be looking for amplitude changes, phase changes, frequency, geometry, checking out the offset, understanding the velocities. Maybe that indicates a DHI. We could be looking at shear wave, or we could be considering derivative attributes. Again, a DHI is only an FLT that we believe indicates the presence of hydrocarbon. So what do we actually do with a DHI? Well, that could be qualitative or quantitative. Maybe we're simply identifying FLTs that may be DHIs, categorizing them, co-locating and describing them to high grade our leads or prospects. Or maybe we're undertaking some type of quantitative work, where we're considering the attributes, we're looking at inversion, we're doing AVO, we're quantifying the hydrocarbon volume using the DHI, or the indication of that hydrocarbon in the subsurface. So I want you to think of a DHI as being the recognition of an FLT, validating that FLT as a hydrocarbon indicator, but also considering it in the rock physics framework. So we need to understand sands and shale profiles within our basin. What do we expect to see, and is that what we see? So as we think of those DHIs, we'll deeply talk about what is expected. We'll talk about the reflectivity, the offset response, the environment, and we'll also look at pitfalls. Again, like all other sessions, you'll be expected to bring some of your experience to the table. So I want you to look here at this modeled example where we have sand and shale profiles in an imaginary basin. Yes, I say imaginary because no basin looks exactly like this. And really, you should be modeling your own basin to get your understanding of the sand and shale impedance profiles within that basin. It's going to be way more complicated than this. Anyway, we're modeling an antiform with a gas cap at different depths within this basin. The seismic response is going to be markedly different, but also similar in many ways. We'll consider that. I want you to note that an increase in impedance in this case is represented by a peak or a blue color. Your task is to look in detail at these modeled antiforms containing the low, moderate, and high impedance sands. There's also that gas cap, remember. Also identify what is similar about the seismic response in each and what is different. I want you to consider the flank, the crest, and also that flat spot. And ask yourself whether there's anything odd about these models, anything unusual, or anything especially interesting. I want to hear what you say about these three models. I also have a challenge, and that is for you to mind map or brainstorm your general understanding of DHIs. Try and include any that you may have worked on in the past, and also indicate any concepts or new ideas that you may have come up with as you work through this process. So maybe you're thinking about your own project. Remember those seismic lines that we had right at the beginning of the project? Maybe you might be thinking about your seismic and saying, I wonder if there's an amplitude response there that I hadn't noticed before. Or is there a faint flat spot that may be masquerading as something else? So that would be really interesting if you brought that into your mind map. Any ideas with your current projects? You could do it in PowerPoint, OneNote, a mind map tool, just on paper, it doesn't matter. But if you use an electronic means, it'd be really easy to just screenshot some examples that come to mind. So think about what the identifying factors are on a stack or gather. What was the geological environment? What were the attributes that supported the anomaly as a DHI, but also what refuted it? And here, this is the important part. Did you ever drill it? And was it proven as a hydrocarbon reservoir, or was it a false anomaly? Because we have to be really cognizant of false anomalies as we work through DHIs. So whether your mind map is limited or extensive, I look forward to discussing DHIs with you as we continue our advanced seismic interpretation journey.